colors, and things we wouldn't know. That I wanted to
Hey everybody, welcome to Tom's Guide Gaming on this Memorial Day Friday. I'm Andrew Friedman.
I'm Adam Ismail.
And today we are streaming Detroit Become Human on the PS4. So we just put a review up this week and we're pretty mixed about it. So we thought we'd show you and I'd show Adam this game and see why people are talking so much about it. So this is a scene pretty early in the game. That's a guy named Carl. He's a really rich artist and that's his robot Marcus. And they have one of the closer relationships of a robot and android in this game. And we're going to see a little bit of the decision making. This is a pretty short scene, so you're going to really quickly you're going to see the consequences that occur. So this game looks, I will say this game looks amazing.
Yeah,
we just had one of our other editors came in and thought we were watching a movie, and he recognized all the actors, which I thought was really cool.
Scotch, neat as usual.
Absolutely.
Okay, but you know what your doctor would say.
So you're still like seeing Marcus in an early stage. Like his main characteristic later in the game is that he becomes sort of a messiah figure for robots, a real rebel. But right now, he's still
pouring scotch.
He's pouring scotch. He's serving people. So you see the sort of quick time events that turn things. You might have seen. You've played Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls.
Sure
Very similar to those. Okay, so we have an issue. Someone's in the house.
Detroit police, what's your
Dropped in
emergency?
phone.
This is Carl Manfred's android at 89.
That's sort of the telltale sign someone's an android in this game, is that they have one of those.
There may have been a break-in.
A patrol car is on the way.
In fact, the status of those things becomes important. So here's our first kind of choice, which I know is the first time playing through this game. Just okay, he says to go check it out.
No, I'm gonna come with you.
So someone else, do we take him? I will let you make this choice, Adam.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take him. He wants to see it. It's his house. So you can go through that door without him. Like you do not need him there. And there's a man.
Leo! What are you doing?
You refused to help me, so I'm helping myself. It's crazy what some people pay for this shit.
Don't touch him.
Look, they're all
So
gonna be
this is
mine
son
sooner
Leo.
or later anyway. Just think of it as a down payment on my inheritance.
Marcus, get him away from there. Get him
He's
out of
real.
here.
Sounds like they got
Jackass.
some issues to work through.
So he said, yeah, just a couple. So quick.
Ooh, order.
Leo, don't make this
All right,
difficult. Listen
I'm
to your
hopping
father.
Oh, hey, George.
You need to leave. Now.
All you ever do is tell me to go away. What's wrong, Dad?
Oh, I can't wait to
good
like
enough for
beat up this guy.
Fixed, like this fucking
He's got one of
thing.
those punchable
That's enough.
faces.
Get out right now.
What makes it so special anyway, huh? What's it got that I don't?
Leave him alone.
Got a hard drive.
Come on, let's see what you got.
He did not
The
want
thing
to
is,
do
he's
that.
not supposed to hurt people.
Defend yourself
I'm
here.
pretty sure there's a law named after that. So don't defend yourself. Just let him, you know.
Go ahead, hit me. What you waiting for? Think you're a man? Act like one.
Like his inner monologue. It's
Right,
not
so they
bad.
have those a lot.
It's like a
But this
comic
is,
book thought bubble.
this is definitely one of the more obvious
Better
ones
scared to
in the
fight
entirety of the
back,
game.
you fucking bitch.
Ooh. And so this is sort of where they become a deviant. You see animations like this where you go through the whole thing and like he jumps out of his body and breaks down the wall. So anytime someone becomes a deviant, they go through something like this where like their programming doesn't gel. The motion controls, by the way, the shaking up and down, the one part of this I don't really like.
Yeah.
Oh right, that's right. I forgot
like
you're
a
not a real
holdover from the
person. You're just a
6-axis
fucking
days.
piece of
Yeah.
plastic.
Leo, leave him alone.
They're expensive.
I'm gonna destroy you. Then I'll just be
So
me
you
and my dad.
push or just
Push
endure.
him, no,
Are you
push
sure?
him.
Because it said to
Push him.
leave him. Fine, we'll push him. This is on you.
I don't feel bad.
It's his son.
There he is.
It's his son, George.
He's kind of a jerk.
A world where you can push somebody, they can fall and just die immediately.
To be fair, that was some pretty heavy equipment. Like,
Leo.
no, he can't walk. His
Oh my
his
God.
son's dead. Look what you guys did. I didn't do anything. I'm just holding the control.
Leo. My little boy.
Carl,
Except just one slight problem with all this.
They'll
Red means he's
destroy
bad.
you, Marcus.
No, red. Yeah, so red off. It's
You
like a
gotta
status
go.
light indicator on a laptop.
Get out of here.
Like, well,
Carl, I didn't mean to.
the problem being,
Get out
we
now.
we
Go!
sort of just called the cops. There they are.
Yeah.
Marcus, don't fucking move.
Oh no.
No.
You had to get him pushed.
Did we kill Marcus?
Did we? I mean,
Oh,
you'll find out more about that plot later in the game. There are two ways this can be. Okay, we go. So this is the tree you sort of get afterwards. This one's more filled out because I've played it both ways.
Okay.
So you can see there are a lot of things you have to do. Like you could have checked the studio without Carl. Either way, you confront Leo and break
So
the mind palace they call
Right.
it.
As you play it more times, different ways, you get to see the other choices you could have made and where they would have ended. up.
Right.
Yeah, where they would have splintered
Where
off.
they
which is-
often get refilled.
That's
like,
kind of cool.
Yeah, so in the other
Carl
one,
dies of
yeah,
a
the other
heart
one, Carl
attack.
dies. So that
Okay.
was what happened on my first playthrough, and this is one I played through because this is where I sort of see like as like the first major choices of the game that actually resonate through the rest of it are in this one. In the other case,
So in either
Carl-
scenario, the
right.
police arrive.
In either scenario, the police will arrive. In the other scene, which we're not showing you, is that Leo like sees Carl on the ground and he goes like, "No, it's that guy's fault. Like he hurt him," and they shoot. So this game, in this level, Marcus gets shot either way, which might say
Yeah.
something about what happens to Marcus later in the game. And we're in the meantime, so we'll hit continue here, but we're gonna skip this scene from now. We might come back to it if we have a little time.
Can you do some Connor stuff? I played the demo for this.
So that was kind of, we're going to do a level that has both Kara and Connor in it, so we can get a little bit of both of them. And I wrote about this in the review, their paths sort of run parallel to each other, except for Kara's, who's a little bit out there. But this is one of the few places before the real end of the game where it feels like, hey, they're meeting each other, like what they do with each other might matter. So let's take a look at Fugitives.
And Adam, unlike me, you're a David Cage fan, right?
Fan is a
I'm
hard
not,
term.
I'm not a David Cage fan. I don't want to get hate mail, okay?
I was an apologist for Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. I really like them, even though they were rough. When I saw the game of this guy, so I gave this a 6 out of 10, and I had a really hard time writing this review because there's so much technical mastery that has evolved from those games. But
That door.
That's always the problem with these Quantic Dream
Yeah.
games, though, is that, like, technically speaking, they're amazing. They're like showcases for the platform, but
Right.
the writing is just never
and
quite
in,
there.
in this case, where the story had such a burden on it, just about like we're going to say things about race and politics and abuse and freedom.
But we're really not.
Right, but then the answer is we say those things are bad, and like it's not okay. So here, let's
Nothing
get here.
had been said
Right.
before.
So we're gonna find Kara, who has just spent a night. I don't remember where she did based on what save I was in. There were several different save options. This is probably the worst save.
And of course, if you're watching us on any of the streaming platforms on Twitch, Mixer, or the YouTubes, feel free to send us a message. I'm looking at the chat right now, and we'll do our best to answer any questions.
Oh wait, I might have I chose the wrong one.
No.
Is this a creepy scene? That's
No, it's
handled
not. It's
professionally?
it's not a creepy scene. It's just not the exciting scene.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna see a scene a little later in that same area, but we'll have seen a little more character evolution between Kara and Alice. So Alice is speaking of like those creepy scenes, the daughter of this guy Todd, who is abusive and drunk and does a drug that like they sort of try to talk about throughout the game, but just kind of drop. And they said, he's like, see it in context. We're not trying to make like too much of a, here it is, on the run, same one. We're not trying to make like any statement about abuse. Well, they don't make a statement about abuse other than it's bad and that now we have this plot point running. We can forget that this ever happened.
So it's kind of just there to get them out of the house, basically?
Yeah. They could have done a million things. They could have burned the house down.
Yeah.
But that is what he chose, and it's a really questionable
It
choice.
might have
for
justified
us.
itself if like Alice had to deal with the abuse later or something like that. But I guess
But
that's
she
not
doesn't.
the case. Yeah.
She doesn't. There's one other kind of case of abuse that's an abuse of an android that's sort of talked about, but they never really like go in on like what that means and how that affects a psyche, whether you're a living person or an android. So I was disappointed with that just because it seemed like a missed opportunity, like so many missed opportunities.
Yeah, it also seems kind of gratuitous. Like if you're gonna have a big emotional moment like that, you would want it to actually have some weight in the story.
By the way, these loading screens, they seem bad here, but once you start playing through, you don't encounter one of these until you try to go to and from the main menu.
Yeah.
So this was my dumb fault. There we go.
Yeah, I definitely want to see one of those Heavy Rain-esques running through a crowd. Oops, I stepped on the watermelon, or I
All right, so
banged
there.
into
Okay,
a
this.
guy.
Okay, I'd save. So in this case, they wake up in a hotel. You could wake up in worse places than the hotel. And they've been on the run. And they needed just any place for shelter for a night.
So yeah, even though you gave this a 6, you still recommend that people actually check this game out.
I do think you should, I mean, as Adam said, like this game is really like a showcase of what the PlayStation 4 can do.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, like, and it just does a lot of interesting things with gameplay and the controller. Like even like the lights change for different characters in different situations. The rumble was even done really well.
I'm sorry, I didn't
So
know
like
with you.
if you're really in on a story game like this, I'd say at full price it might be worth it for you. It's not really long. You have to want to go through the game over and over again.
It wasn't a nightmare.
But otherwise, like I would wait till maybe it goes on sale.
Right.
Wait till the holidays, Black Friday.
Well, the thing is, there's like nothing like
It's
these
still
Quantic
early.
Dream games when it comes to just
You should
the
try to
quick
get some
motion
sleep.
or the
Right.
you know,
I'm not tired anymore.
gestures and whatnot.
Like the facial capture is always really good.
Cinematic camera
Almost
angles and
started.
stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should take a bath and then we'll
And
go
it's also
out
one of those
and find
games that
something
like
to eat.
it's always fun to play with a group of people,
Yep.
and then just kind of shout things out.
So that thing is a little relationship meter, and I find it interesting how much like how often they show those because they show them a lot.
Does any of that matter? Or
It does in like some kind of like what does a character think of you, but I you know it's they're just sort of there to like judge a character so you know what a character's thinking inside, like a show don't tell sort of thing. So at this point, Kara's realizing I have these clothes, which depending on the situation you may not have these clothes, but she still looks just like she did when she went on the run. So this is like a moment for her. We're actually going to see something I called out as kind of gross, where she decides to cut off all of her synthetic android hair.
is synthetic android hair gross than normal people's hair?
No, this is just we're not at the gross part.
Oh,
So she does her job. And
wow. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, it looks fine.
This is
Wow,
the,
she's really good.
and then you get to. This is the only aesthetic choice you get to make for any character ever. Is
Okay.
how do you want to look at this woman, this female representing android for the rest of the game?
Let's do
So-
white.
You can shoot. You can look at them all. So,
Oh. Whoa, that's
Yeah.
really weird.
it's like you can. So you could you could choose whichever one you want, but like it's only she's the only one you get to do this for, which I think is just kind of like.
She looks like
yeah.
anime.
So we'll keep it white because it's anime.
Looks like
Now
a
we
Final
talked about
Fantasy character.
right. We talked about that status indicator before.
Oh, ooh.
Now you'd think this thing would be more important, but it ends up you can just
Oh.
flick it into the drain.
Huh.
So
Okay. Oh, it's gone.
you often wonder at a certain point in the game why everybody's not doing that. Like,
Yeah, she doesn't have
especially
like a hole in her head or anything like that.
yeah, especially if like people are treating androids poorly. It's like, oh, let me just take this thing off and put it in my pocket.
So there are a couple that do for some reasons, but not everybody does it.
That's strange.
So that was like a weird plot hole. We'll get to that while she's
You're
in the
pretty
bath.
like that.
Oh, thank you, Alice.
You really look like a human now.
Jack, thanks.
Your bath's ready.
The scene starts very peaceful, by the way. It will not be the entire time.
I'm curious what optimal
But it is
temp
it is nice to see like a quality, like a more quiet moment. And then they have these magazines streaming throughout the game. They have a bunch of different ones, and these ones it's cool because they're tablets, and I don't know why I think it's so interesting. It uses the little touchpad on it, so like, oh, okay, I want to turn the page. I'm just gonna like swipe it,
Okay.
and so they'll have multiple magazines. It's like the Canada, the magazine, and Canada is like this free, like no Android place. So like in theory,
Oh.
like they have no Android laws, no one's using them there. Why I couldn't tell you, but
So wait, is by Android free they mean androids are free or there are no androids?
they're not using Android, so there's no laws governing Android. So it's sort of seen as like a maybe if an Android could get there, it could kind of be free. 'Cause
Oh,
nothing
so
goes
like an
wrong.
android like Utopia in a sense.
Yeah,
Pass
exactly.
off as like a regular human.
Right.
Yeah.
God. You got the window. You're on the lam. I wonder if they're using any of like the heavy rain assets, because I feel like I've seen this in the hotel room before.
Before.
What is she watching on TV? Is that Mulan?
Is that Mulan?
I don't know. Like,
I don't.
something happening. Like,
I don't think
I
it
think
would be Mulan.
I did not want that again. I think there are some places where you can like pick up where you can change channels on some TVs. I don't remember if this is.
is
There's
this
a
on
remote there.
Is this on a timer?
Yeah, I think you have to wait until she's done.
Oh.
So you're supposed to like explore the room a little bit. Yeah, so we can change the channels. There we go.
Oh.
There's the Boston Marathon. You
Okay.
know,
Okay,
the
weird.
2038 Boston Marathon.
Thanks, Michael.
So
I'm joined by Corktown
they want you to
resident
see this,
Todd
you know?
Williams, who was violently attacked
Kind of
by
reminds me of,
VX-100
was it
around
Fahrenheit or
11
Indigo?
p.m.
No,
last
Indigo
night.
Prophecy and Fahrenheit are the same.
they're the same
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
Fahrenheit in Europe and
Right,
Indigo
right.
Prophecy in the United States.
But that scene that opens up the game where you're in the diner and you're, whoa, there's a dead body near me, and you have to like, you've got like 2 minutes to like just base.
Let's see, a public opinion skeptical.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting to interrupt.
No,
you.
no, no
Public
worries.
opinion is the one of those I feel that actually made the most difference in the end game. What the public thinks of
Police launched a
androids.
search to find the android. Let's hope they find it fast.
But yeah, that scene in the diner where you're basically just covering up a crime.
Yeah, that whole game is weird.
That game is super
Not
weird because then they
true.
start doing flying.
He's
So
stuff.
lying.
they need you to see that so you
He's
can
the
come
one
out
who
and be
tried to
mad.
hurt us. What are we gonna do?
We're
We
gonna
have
murder
nowhere to
humans.
go.
At least
The
David
police are looking
Cage was
for
able
us.
to find like child actors with like decent, voices.
Yeah.
It's an improvement.
Can't stay here. We don't have any money.
Well, no, I think the problem was they cast a bunch of like French Canadian people to play like normal Americans. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is my Brooklyn accent, and I'm like, no.
It
I
is
can't
an
believe
intro-
we're in the
It is-
wasteland
it's
of
actually-
Pittsburgh.
It's a really interesting thing that David Cage's games are all set in the United States for the most part, but
The
they
android
like,
yesterday. He gave
he doesn't
me an
depict
address.
American life in any particular way.
Yeah.
It's just like
His version of America is really
Try.
weird.
His version of America is just Europe. Like it just looks and feels and acts like Europe. So why not just make it Europe?
So they meet an android the night before. That
Twiggy, Twiggy asks, why all the David Cage hate? He's a bad writer. There's no hate.
You know what?
Just-
He knows how to direct a game. He knows how to make the most of a platform, and he has good and like he clearly understands the PlayStation and how he wants to tell this story. He's not a great writer, and like even if this is his concept and the themes are his idea, and I think he co-wrote this game. It wasn't just him. But they definitely it needed more time in the oven to like think about what do we really want to say, and not just like, oh, we can say this because we can.
Yeah. I feel like certain parts of his games actually do work really well. Like I remember playing through Heavy Rain, when you have to go through those trials. Like, do you want to shoot this random person to get a clue that might save your son, or do you want to drive opposite way on traffic or something like that? Like those are very like powerful moments. But I don't know if in the end they really come together.
You basically describe moments without words.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
I guess we're not getting breakfast for Alice.
No, we're ditching her.
I'm saying the popo are here.
Just go.
There you go, Ron.
Lieutenant Anderson.
Clancy. What?
Is Clancy Brown?
Yes.
And that's Connor, or his police android, his detective android.
I don't think androids here.
Detective android.
Have you seen anyone that looks like this?
He's an android specifically meant to hunt out deviant androids. That is his job.
He looks
its
too
job.
much. He looks too much like the detective from Heavy Rain.
Is it still here?
He's got like the same hairstyle.
Is he a Blade Runner?
28.
Thank you.
He's the closest to Blade Runner you're going to get in this game.
You know, I've never actually seen that movie.
So this is one of the few. So this is one of the few. So my relationship with Hank in this one is not great. By the way, Connor and Hank's relationship can be better than I have it here. So yeah, it's switched over to Connor.
You wait in the car.
Which I do.
Diplomatic.
I think it's best if I go with you.
Listen, I'm tired of you talking back to me. You're a machine, so shut the fuck up and do what I say.
That is a weird response to that.
You know, his thing is his response to like any of them would probably be the same. Right now, he doesn't like him, so any response will be like that. They give you a lot of choice that doesn't always pan out. So anyway, I don't think there's hate. I just think there's a lot of critique, and I think that critique is okay and healthy.
So, is the opening of this game the same as the demo where you're
that
Connor
first
in
scene.
the hostage
Yeah, that first scene.
So I got him killed
Interesting.
in that opening in the demo. So does he?
There was stuff in the back of that. There's stuff in a letter they sent me that they suggested not talking about, and that was one of them.
Oh, okay.
So I will not discuss that.
Spoiler territory. Okay,
It's
gotcha.
real spoiler territory.
Do you all get matching Android team jackets?
That'd be
A
dope.
lot of androids have those team
Oh,
jackets.
man. The actor who plays Connor followed me on Instagram when I posted all those pictures of my stream where I got him killed.
I showed it. I shared with our social team some people in a scene where I wasn't doing very well as him, and he's like, looks like Andrew didn't get him alive the whole game. And I was like, you know what, Mr. Dishart, I did play this multiple times. I got you through to the end. Okay, so they clearly got out before this is going, right? But now there's the cop, and they want to get to this train station to find where there's one android told them they should go. So now I have to sneak past the cops. And this is like Kara's thing, is when she gets action scenes, she hides.
Oh, great.
Well, that's not.
So,
fucking A stereotypes.
whereas, so we can like see, like sort of scan for threats and see the destination. And you can also do this anywhere in the game to just sort of see like, hey, what's coming nearby. So if you're looking for something to do, you don't know where to go
I think
next.
those crosswalks.
So be like, where do we gotta hide next? Where are the police? And like, right now we don't see any, so it's guiding us this way.
It's a nice, like, sterile vision of the future.
Yeah. Well, so we have like the we want jobs, not androids. Like there's very like those things are very on the nose, but they don't talk about what.
It's cool.
Of course,
Act casual.
Yeah. Now I am actually going to throw this because I've done this both ways. I'm going to tell you what, failing is a lot more fun in this scene.
Do it.
So let's
Bump right into him.
Yep.
Hey, stop! Police!
All right. Well,
Now you're going to see what an action scene looks like in this
That
game.
way. They're headed for the train station.
Thank you. I'm a robot.
You start as Connor and you go to chase them.
It's interesting how you switch characters, and they really didn't like make a big deal out of it. It's like they're just Connor now.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird transition.
The scenes I played through, the only one that there was an issue was like there's one point where they let you choose who to play as. And that was kind of weird, but every other time they do it, which there aren't too many times, it's fairly natural.
Good looking alley.
Hi, I'm a robot.
Shoot, we need it alive.
We're gonna scroll. Oh, we got Andronico here right for the action scene. So yeah, they're just going across a highway with floating cars, no problem. Hey, I'm Mike.
Mr. Mike Andronico, managing editor of Tom's Guide.
I have this dream where androids and humans live together. Live together.
You have important things to say, like.
So here we go.
You have an android dream. Oh, what?
Oh yeah, this is bringing back.
Yeah, right. Or Shenmue. The game that started it all.
Yeah.
Now there's the question.
Hey, where you going?
I can't let them get away.
They won't. They'll never make it to the other side.
I can't take that chance.
Now you will get
So-
yourself
Go,
killed.
go,
He
go,
goes?
go,
Okay.
go. He hates you already. Who cares? Like,
Now, how far into the game are we right
This is fair. This is like in the first third.
So what was that software instability? Is that what
So-
happens when you break the...
Yeah,
Yeah, so
so it's
they,
deviant, I think.
they don't really explain software instability like towards the end, but yeah, it's like if your software's unstable, is sort of like becoming a
by a car,
deviant.
it's only a bit.
So if he follows his mission, then it's better for him in that regard.
so, if you fail,
Right.
what happens?
You want to find out?
Yeah.
He won't because he's in all game.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Go.
So,
I don't
like,
think
see, in
he
that
handles-
case, like, you get like a.
Phil, make them both get hit by cars. Come on. Let's swap out two characters.
That would
Music's good. Yeah, I can't
So-
hear too well.
No one could have gotten actually like.
You know, I
head-on
don't.
hit by
I
a
have.
truck and
I
all,
haven't
right?
had it happen, but I don't think it's I don't know if it's impossible.
All I want to do is just like break this game.
Yeah, I just want to see, just kill everyone as soon as possible. Get the worst ending.
Are you okay?
I need to play through until dawn. I think that's one game I
Yeah.
definitely have to
Yeah.
put some time into.
You know, I never feel I got like the best ending here. I think most people who play this game are going to get an unsatisfactory ending the first couple times.
Yeah.
The first one I got was really unsatisfactory. The second one I got was a little better. But like to get everyone through alive is challenging.
Do you know how many there are?
I don't. It took me 8, 9, maybe 10 hours to like play through my playthrough. They suggest it could take about 40 to get through everything.
Well, no save mode.
Well, yeah, because I'm just not having to overrun my saves. Like this is everything that could have happened in this particular scene.
Huh. Okay.
So in this case, Karen Alice reached the other side, which I
Interesting.
think's happened in all of them. But like you can go through and zoom in, like what happened if we did this.
Oh, okay.
It's like
If
the
you start
first
the
time
parking
the
lot.
first time I played the game, they slept in a car because I didn't get the money for the parking lot, and I couldn't get them into a house. The second time where we saw, I played it. They woke up in the hotel where she did steal the money. There's another option which we didn't even haven't even touched yet, and you can go through everything and be like, well, what could have I done that's different? And a lot of this is linear, but like, okay, so you could do some. Connor could have gone into the car instead of following Hank.
What?
And like, what would have happened there?
Interesting.
You know,
That's really cool.
so a lot of it you see is ultimately linear. You get to a couple of the same endings every time. My guess is that at least one of these is a death. So those are those two. And do we have time for another scene? How do we want to do this?
Do you want to do like a really short scene?
Sure, let's
do
do-
something weird. Like
Okay, yeah, we'll do something weird. I know exactly the one.
Oh yeah.
So let us go back to the.
Is Jesse Williams shirtless at any point in this game?
that's an important
the
question.
more important question.
He is not shirtless in this
If
game.
so, we're
3
going-
out of 10.
don't-
Actually,
don't-
you know what? He's sort of shirtless, but he's like so badly like otherwise damaged that you don't really notice.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
There, he's doing an OS update.
There-
Put his back up and plug
just-
the wire into.
he's
his
just
This
like-
is April update for Windows.
He's just like he's shaking and like going through his like Grey's Anatomy
Has to remind
spoilers.
himself every 3 hours to do the update.
So let's go. We're gonna actually go to a scene back from In Between called the
Perfect.
interrogation, and we're gonna see Connor do his job. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do want to play this game.
I think it's weird, and like some people will get more out of it than others, but it's a real like showcase for the platform.
Yeah, and I know exactly what I'm getting out of a David Cage game.
Yeah.
I know the highs and lows
We had
to expect.
we had one question before that the guy was like, "Why are you guys hating?" And I don't think we're hating. We're just it's
I
critique.
think hating's the right. Yeah, exactly. It's just pointing out kind of.
Again, you don't go through these every time. If you like, I'm backing out and playing them over and over again, but it'll have like a very much God of War never loads again sort of thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, he leans into it. He makes a lot of games that have something to say. So, you know,
Yeah.
when you do that, you put yourself out
All right.
there.
Why'd you kill him? What happened before you took that knife?
Yeah.
That guy's a jerk, by the way.
Connor or the other guy?
No, the other guy. I mean, Connor's a jerk too.
How long were you in the attic?
This is such a weird... I can't tell if they're making Clancy Brown too young or too old.
Yeah.
That he looks kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a little uncanny.
You know what? Adam, you play the sequence.
I keep thinking you have to press circle. That red dot in the background.
Damn it.
So Adam's gonna play. We'll yell at him what to do.
I'm not sure I'm ready for these quick moments.
This is more of a conversational scene.
So Andrew's getting no lawyers, I guess, right?
We're wasting our time interrogating
No, not that I know of.
Nothing out of it. You always try roughing up a little.
Hank doesn't seem like he
After
loves
all,
androids all that much.
It's not human.
No, he doesn't.
Androids don't feel pain. You would only damage it, and that wouldn't make it talk. Deviants also have a tendency to self-destruct when they're in stressful
Well, that's not very
situations.
productive.
Like they just blow up? Like, what does that mean?
You know what? We don't really see that. So like he says that.
I want
but-
to see that.
You know, I shouldn't say that.
Adam,
You
we are
can-
stressing this robot out until
Yeah.
it blows up.
Yeah, let's make this go as badly as possible.
You know, it's like I can't say anything, but I know what happens when you do that because I've done that. I've also seen this go well, so.
So that's not
I think
well.
this is gonna be. I mean, well, obviously we're streaming right now. I think this is going to be a popular streaming game for a while.
I think it will
It's
be.
fun
'cause-
to watch.
I think,
there's-
yeah, this is fun if you're just with people and just like, hey, you guys want to get drunk and do some weird stuff?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
And you can get almost everything out
Get
of
people
it.
to vote on your choices.
Telltale started doing that, right?
Yeah, they actually have.
Yeah, they have built into the game.
Mixer, yeah.
So I would recommend analyzing him first.
All right, well,
The reason,
Yeah,
hold
hold
it.
it, yeah.
The reason being is that when you see, if you look around enough at things, it'll often unlock options for dialogue. And if you played the demo, you've seen that.
What's all the? So is that blood?
That is blood. This
19-day-old
robot
blood.
may allegedly murdered his owner.
Oh,
Good. That's good legal speak there, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay.
That looks like a spot.
Burn marks.
Oh, he was abused. Okay. Alright.
So this seems pretty obvious.
Carlos OT seemed like a jerk. All right.
Yes.
Hit marks.
Wow. That
Oh,
baseball
but
bat.
baseball bat.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what we know. You want to reach the optimal
Optimal
stress.
Optimal stress.
Right, the right amount of stress.
I want no. We gotta pump that meter way up.
I want a name. Oh. Okay.
Oh, you hit name?
Yeah.
Oops.
And then I was going to give
That's
my
yeah,
name.
that's you're really gonna give him some stress. Yeah, he doesn't give you his name.
Okay.
Sorry, it doesn't give you its name.
All right. Fear.
I detect an instability in your program.
Oh, okay. Like,
It can trigger an unpleasant feeling, like fear.
Press circle to fear.
threaten.
I've
Threaten.
If you don't cooperate, they'll do things the hard way.
This guy's not a very good bad cop.
Is that
I
true?
know.
Really, he's not very
Way too
intimidating.
It's
Too
bad.
low.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Batteries are low, boys.
We're just gonna keep threatening.
Keep threatening
You
him.
don't seem to understand the
Oh my
situation.
god.
You killed a human. They'll tear
if they
you
offer you to probe
apart
the
if
memory
you don't
again,
say
say
I was
something.
gonna say,
Pump it
yeah,
up,
let's
pump
probe
it
that.
up.
Yeah, probe his memory.
All right, probe.
Yo, get in there.
If you won't talk,
You're gonna.
I'm going to have to probe your memory.
No,
Oh.
no, please don't do that.
So the threat of that he doesn't like. I will say I wouldn't do it again if you want the worst possible ending. That you can get to the scene.
What are they gonna
So-
do to me?
But you do get an ending by doing that. So
They're gonna destroy me, aren't they?
Truth.
Tell the truth. Yeah.
They're going to disassemble you to look for problems in your biocomponents. They have no choice if they want to understand what happened.
So the higher the stress, the better?
you want to keep them in the you want to keep them in
okay.
the optimal range if you want to be able to get a confession out.
You want him scared enough to talk,
Just have
but
left me there.
just keep telling the truth.
I was programmed to hunt deviants like you.
Pump
I
it up.
just accomplished my mission.
You can check out my DeviantArt.
Then talk to me.
I can't.
Is he programmed not to talk?
This android is a deviant, so now you're going to choose your approach to try to get a confession. You're going to probe his memory, you're going to pressure it, or you're going to convince it.
Pressure. Yeah. Yes.
It's such a just like a switch from being all truthful and everything to
Did you
this.
feel anger?
Yeah. Pump it up. Pump
Do you
it up.
bleed?
Keep pressuring.
I did not murder him!
I can't be responsible for what happens if you keep doing this.
Oh no, we're purposely trying to make bad things happen.
Come on.
And again. Please.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Pressure.
yes.
Pressure. Smack him back of the head.
Why don't you say it?
Please.
Just say I killed him.
I think we got
Is it
one
that
more.
hard to say? Just say you killed him. Just say it.
Swear to me.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be bad.
It is gonna be bad.
He tortured me every day.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Wow.
effective. There you go.
Alright.
Who said torture was bad?
That is one ending.
I did whatever he told me, but
There actually is a worse ending than this.
Does he explode?
He doesn't. Not in like the boom boom kind of way.
Just the poured some water on him kind of way.
More in the don't let him near a cop's firearm kind of way.
Okay.
scared he might destroy me. Scared I might die.
But so in this case, yeah, the humans
So
don't
many
treat androids very
questions,
well.
like, what is their skin
Oh,
made
He
out
likes
of?
him. Good
So-
job torturing that guy, son. You did good.
You know, so the skin thing's actually an interesting question because they use the word plastic like a slur a lot. You're just a plastic. You're made of plastic. But then it's often suggested that they feel like a real person.
So there are like...
So
Collapsed.
Dude.
There was blood
Are there kid androids?
oh,
Or are they all adults? Just have so many
I
questions.
guess
We're
you-
gonna do RA9.
What is
I don't know
that?
what
What is...
It was written on the back.
Oh.
that is what an RA9 is. One of the mysteries of the game.
I thought it was just like a random like...
No.
It's a boot 'em off like this.
So a lot of
This
deviants.
is the one area the QA testers forgot to patch.
No. It's purposeful.
It's just a verbal alt control delete.
It's the code of the Android revolution. Trigger?
When did you
Who's
start
got the trigger?
killing
You want to give it to a normal person.
He used to beat me and I never said anything.
And I'd like to tell you that this scene, the second in the game that discusses abuse, like has further repercussions down the line, but it doesn't.
I felt
Seems like that's in
anger,
there.
hatred. And then I knew what I had to do.
Dance.
Why did you write "I am alive" on the wall?
He did it in
Because I am.
he did it in blood, which we didn't. That's a really long scene, so we didn't go through that in this
I had
game.
to write it
They don't have to sleep,
to tell him
right?
he was wrong.
No,
They
but
have to
there's
recharge.
They have a charge station? Is there like...
Sculpture.
there.
my
They
robot
actually
vacuum.
they don't address that at all.
Oh, okay.
There's one
This is a
point.
burning question.
I know.
Do they have? They obviously don't have to eat or go to the bathroom.
Oh, is there a robot cult?
Interesting thing I found out today: the rectangles around the menu items are styled after razor blades.
The sculpture was
Dude,
I
why?
saw that online. I don't know,
An
but they
offering to
totally
who?
are.
To RA9.
That's because this game just really
It's
cuts.
edgy.
Is robot a derogatory
No.
slur for them?
Why did you hide in the attic instead of running away?
You're a bad investigator.
It's really not very
There are
consistent.
there are a lot of it's there are tonal issues.
The
It's
highs
just
and
like
lows.
because well they want you to like hear this. You're gonna hear the same thing despite the mood. Oftentimes like that does happen.
So I hid.
And honestly, if you were legitimately playing this game, not goofing off like we are right now, you'll probably follow progression. And
Who is
Yeah, I mean it
RA9?
still happens.
I don't think you're gonna do that.
Extracted.
I'm done.
No, I think you did. We got it, right?
You did get it, not the way you expected to get it, but you did.
Hey, sometimes bad cop works, okay?
Much like real life, I can
Yeah,
fall on
if
my
you-
face repeatedly and just randomly get
Now,
lucky.
yeah,
Yell at-
actually
you yell at
failing
somebody
is
enough.
actually failing is worse.
Is he gonna freak out though? Because he's stressed out. Oh,
Oh, here
Yes,
we go.
yes.
Yes, blow up.
What the fuck is this?
I told you it would be bad. It's just not the worst possible ending. Actually, it could be the worst. It could get worse.
Oh, these people.
Like, what the? I guess he can't stop me.
I can't stop it.
You have to, like, turn them on. Is there an off
Don't
button?
give up.
Oh, you're getting involved?
Don't give up. You did your job. What are you doing?
Oh, look at that. That blue blood.
This is good. It's good. Makes me want to play Binary Domain.
Oh!
I told you it could happen.
Yes.
Now, what I'm going to suggest we do, now that I'm taking this back review, is just like make sure nobody sees the next scene. But yeah, look at that mess.
Okay. Next scene.
Hey, case closed.
So now you know what not to do.
Note than that. All right. So lesson learned today: don't stress out, Android. It's gonna end badly.
You're gonna end up with blue ink all over you, and it's not gonna.
All right. I think it's about time we wrap it up, guys.
Yeah, I gotta go charge my batteries. You know what I'm saying?
Where's the camera? Over there.
The camera's over there.
Thank you so much for watching this week's Tom's Guide Gaming stream. We'll be back next week. I was George Jimenez. That was Mike Andronico. Adam Ishmael. Ishmael.
Call him Ishmael.
Call me Ishmael. And Andrew Friedman. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.